So first we're going to be answering 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3. So first one is you're trying to create the standard form and the general form, right? Well, this one is asking to turn general to standard. So first let's do this one. So first you should look at what is given. So first of all, our center is at 0, 0 or origin. So this is where we can get to know if we're going to use x squared minus a squared plus y squared over b squared and vice versa, or x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared and vice versa. By what I mean by vice versa, a switch running bottom values if it's horizontal or vertical. These are for horizontal, and then the switch values of a squared and b squared is for the vertical. So given that our center is at 0, 0, and if we look at our vertex, which is at positive 4 and negative 4, 0, we can find out that our y is constantly 0. This would mean that our formula should be our horizontal formula. Remember that if y is constant, it's horizontal, but if x is constant, it's vertical. So now that we have our formula, or what we're going to use, we're just going to replace the values. So first we write x squared. Because we don't have a center, it's just going to be x squared. Bilhin na ng x squared. A squared, our a is 4. So 4 squared is equal to 16 plus y squared over b squared, which is b squared is equals to 3 squared equals to 9. 9 equals to 1. So we're going to then turn this into the general form. To make this quicker for everyone, multiply this value to this value to this value to this value. So this is basically the cross multiply. So we have 9 times x squared, which is 9x squared, and 16 times y squared, which is equals to 16y squared. Now what do you do with the 1? So you multiply 16 and 9, which is equal to 144. That's the value of your 1, because you just multiply 16 and 9 with 1. And then you you just put it to the other side, not substitute. 9x squared plus 16y squared minus 144 equals 0. This is your standard, and this is your general. So we're gonna do the same for the other two. So akong idiretso sa ning number 2 because basically it's the same thing. This time though, you only have your focus. So if you only have your focus and you don't have your covertex, which is basically your b, what are you gonna do with that? You're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Remember, the Pythagorean theorem says in the whenever you're solving for an ellipse, a squared equals to the square root of b squared minus c squared. But if you're looking for b squared plus c squared. So if you're looking for the value of b, it's equal to b square root of a squared minus c squared. So what is our a squared? Our a squared is 5, but our a is 5, but our a squared is 25. So b equals to 25 minus our c is 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. So b equals to 16 squared. So b is equal to 4. So now that you have your covertices or your b, now we can just replace it immediately. Looking at the formula again, the constant in the vertex is y. So again, it is horizontal. So we're going to use this formula once again. So copy and paste x squared. Your a squared is 5, which is 25. And your b is 16 equals to 1. Cross multiply again. 16x squared plus 25y squared 25 times 16 is 100 times 1 is 100 again. 100 here. Go to the other side. It's 100 minus 100. And that's your general form. And this is your standard form. And this is your standard form. This is your standard form. This is your general form. Ay lang na apin na 100 here. So, next one is this one. Center at 2 and 1. So, basically, you have your H and K now. So, you're going to be using this one. Pero if we're looking at the formula or the question, it says vertical. So, the one you're going to be using is x minus h squared over b squared. You're going to be using this one. Plus y minus k squared over a squared. So let's just immediately change the values. But you don't have your a and you don't have your b. You only have your major axis length and your minor axis length. To remember this, your major axis length is equal to 2a while your minor axis length is equal to 2b. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your a and you're going to grab your b and you divide it by 2. Remember that major axis is always a while minor axis is always b. So it's 20 over 2, which is 10, and then 10 over 2, which is 5. So now you have your a and b, you're just going to, again, change it. X minus h, your h is again 2 squared, over your b squared is, again, 5, which is 25 if you square it, plus y minus k, your k is 1 squared, hold on, over 10 times 10 is 100 equals to 1. That's your standard form. To turn into your general form, you do the following. So if we're going to follow the usual where you cross multiply, you would notice that 100, if you cross multiply it, there's the value of 25 underneath. 25 divided by 100 is 4. So you're left with 4x minus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals to 1. So